Ooh, thank you.
Nice whole print. Sunday night.
I call this my lucky dress because I used to do art sales and can they hear me? Hello, hello. There you go. But I used to do art sales back in college.
Is it on?
I think so. Oh, wait.
You're in the place.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I think they can hear me. Yeah. But I got my first sales and I sold 2 art pieces in one night wearing this dress. So I consider it my lucky dress.
I'm here to argue.
Oh, yeah, so in college and a little bit after college, I worked in art sales for a fine arts gallery down in Laguna Beach.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you guys are ever down in Laguna Beach, the downtown area, it's really, really cute. I worked for Dawson Cole Fine Art and they have a sculpture garden. And yeah,
I know that, yeah.
the main artist, I believe his name is Richard. Yeah, Richard McDonald. He does a lot of bronze sculptures of various sizes. So some will be like this small and other ones are like taller than the ceiling.
Yeah.
And he uses performers from Cirque du Soleil as his models. Yeah, so they'll go into his studio and they're just really like whimsical magical pieces. And the creativity of the body is kind of beautiful. So highly suggest. I didn't specialize in his work. I sold a lot of I got into contemporary art, like lithographs, different types of prints. And I did on my last day, actually, I did sell one of his sculptures. Yeah, and I wasn't really supposed to like sell his stuff because I was like I had my niche with the company, but my boss was like, yeah, you'll get the commission on that because it was like a phone call and I totally closed the guy. So it was cool.
Is there another one in Maui? Do they have another
There's
gallery?
one up in Cornell.
No.
Yeah, that's where his studio's actually based out of. But his son and daughter-in-law, they own and run the one down in Laguna. And then the sister runs the one up in Carmel. So anyway, just a little bit of background, like before title. Before title. Yeah, before title. I know we don't have backgrounds like before real estate, right? So that's kind of, I guess, a great segue into social farming, just to remind you guys of how important it is for you to remember where you came from, because that's going to be, those characteristics are going to be what make you unique and special, and you get to leverage those unique special characteristics because no one else is you, right? You can only be the best version of you, and that's what makes you super. That gives you kind of like a leg up, right? Because you have different types of people, different social circles that you're going to speak to that maybe someone else can't. I can't speak to where you come from, Carrie, or where you come from, Janice, right? Because we're all very unique. So let's hop into it. I guess I could use this. I don't know if it works though.
I think if
Oh, it's because it's off. Hold on. Cool.
could you?
I'll just. Oh wait, I think I'm clicking the wrong thing. There we go. All right. So just to, go over the official definition of social farming. It is where traditional title farming information intersects with social media channels to obtain the most comprehensive real estate data. That is a loaded definition of what social farming is, right? So traditional title farming information, traditional title farming, 3 basic steps, kind of 4, but to even get started, you have to know where geographic location is, plant the seeds, water the seeds, nurture, make sure that the seeds that you planted are able to grow, and then harvest the sales in your farm. And who you work with matters, of course. So me and Haley are here to service you guys. We approach farm data with critical thinking. We're not just going to give you data because you ask for it. So we're going to ask you, hey, like, what do you want to do with this? What's your plan? Because we don't just want to throw data at you. We want you to actually be strategic in the amount of time and effort that you're putting forward, so you're not wasting your time. right? So we want you guys to be really thoughtful about what you're doing. Next, this is our contact information. I'm Laurelyn, that's Haley. And then our customer service department, they can do anything that we do also, and vice versa. But in the off chance that we're not getting back to you for whatever reason, which would really not ever happen, they're still available for you guys. Just know that you have a whole team supporting you. All right, so this is our 4-step system. Everything we do at ClearMark is extremely methodical. We did work very closely with a professional marketer to develop this presentation. And then of course we bring like the real estate aspect into it, but this is our 4-step system. So objective, strategy, schedule, and mechanics. And we went through all of those steps, sessions 1 to 2. This is session 3. Did anyone miss either of those sessions? Okay, that's okay. So if you guys have questions or I mentioned something, please feel free to shout out. I'm sure there's people on YouTube who didn't make all of the other sessions either, but I really want you guys to get a good, thorough understanding. So step number 1, what is your objective? Does anyone remember the 3 different parts of objective? And it's totally okay if not, because I'm going to tell you.
I know I have it somewhere, and I'm gonna say one is like leads or prospecting.
Uh-huh. You're right there. Can I erase some of this?
Yeah,
I'll keep that.
it definitely. Yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, done, it's made up.
Oh, John's made up, got it. All right, so objective for social farming. It's split up into 3, and this is step 1. So there's 3 different parts. Carrie, I'm gonna put exactly what you said, lead generation. So how do you possibly lead generate, do you think, via social farming? What are the actions that you're doing while social farming?
You're liking and engaging with other people.
And what does that add to? Like, what are you building when you're engaging, when you're talking to people? Trust.
A relationship.
Yes, a relationship. So you're cultivating relationships. That's one part. And how about the other, what else do you do on social media? How do you get people to know you at all? Posts, right. So the other part is brands, building brand awareness. So those are the 3 objectives of social farming. And those are going to be the things that keep you really aligned with what your goals are, which is to lead generate, right? We're not just on social media for fun. I mean, it could be fun, you know, as a pastime when you're not working, but when you are working for your business, each of your actions on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, they need to be aligned with at least one of these 3, because otherwise we're just on there for fun. We're getting really distracted. We're talking to people who aren't really contributing to our business, and anyone can contribute to your business, but what types of conversations are you having, right? So building brand awareness, that has to do with like the posting your stories, posting, you know, things that are going to stay on your profile, cultivating relationships. That's the engagement part. That's where you are actually going to your target list of 10 to 30 people, however many people you want. That's where you're liking their stuff. That's where you're commenting, replying to their stories, direct messaging them, sending them posts where you're like, hey, I thought of you when I saw this, check it out, or maybe You know that someone's going on vacation, you send them the Instagram of the 3 top restaurants in the city that they're visiting. Little things like that, that's building your relationships with someone. And then hopefully this all leads to lead generation. You're doing this so that you can add people to plans, you can put them on your campaigns, you can, set reminders to call them the next couple of weeks to touch base on what you had a conversation about. So that's the objective part of social farming. And of course, you can always add to this, but this is just the framework, like at the very least, this is what you need to be thinking about. All right, so this slide, this is kind of like a compare and contrast between farming offline, which is more so traditional farming or geofarming, and farming online. So the main difference between offline and online is that when you're farming offline, your farm selection might be more based on a geographic area or certain types of property owners within a zip code, a property tract, a city, a county even, depending on what your goals are and what your niche is if you have one. And then online, your target audience or your farm is going to be really up to you and based on who you already know within your spheres of influences. You might have just one sphere, you might have 3 different, where you go and meet people from church, from your kid's soccer team, from college or a past career that you had. Do you guys understand kind of the main difference of like where you're focusing your energy or how you're pulling people? One is geographic, more so based on geographic area and property type. And then the other one is more so based like socially, how you know people, how you're connected to them. And then steps 2, 3, and 4 are going to be the same. You need to have a strategy and a plan put in place for how you're going to farm. So it could be geographic farming or social farming. So for geographic farming, your strategy or plan could be, okay, what are my touches going to be? Am I going to send out mailers or postcards? Or is my budget way too small for that? So what do? Should I just print out flyers and go door knocking? Do I want to cold call? Do I want to attend community events? Should I put on events myself? And there's going to be some like overlap between social farming and geographic farming, because you might want to implement the same things, or within your geographic farm, you are going to be using social media, right? And then your strategy plan for social farming or farming online might be, okay, what types of posts am I going to make? What type of content am I going to make? What is of value to the people that follow me on here, right? So that's kind of like how you're going to think, like what types of things am I going to be putting out on the internet? Tracking and managing leads. I hope you guys are using commands, right? Is everyone using commands here? Good. We use our own CRM system, so I know that it helps me out a lot. There's like a bunch of different requests all day. I need to make sure that I get them done by the end of the day. Well, it's great when you have automation, you have reminders, you can just put a task in there and you're like, oh, 2:30, I have to do this. So it's really great. Just make sure that you're tracking everything. And then have a schedule where you're actually going to execute things that you wanted to plan out. So a schedule can be like, okay, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to 10:30. I'm going to look up the people who are on my target list, look at their social media, make sure I didn't miss anything, and then write that stuff down in my CRM. Or, remind myself to call them in 2 weeks to talk about this. All right. So this is going to be a discussion slide with your farm. Let's talk about like our geographic farm. I want to hear what you guys are thinking, if you need help with anything, and kind of what your thought process is behind choosing a farm. So does anyone have a geographic farm that they've established or want to start?
Yeah, I'm going on Friday to try to door knock for the first time around.
Ooh, amazing. How did you choose that area?
It's close to where my residence is, and I like the farmers that I go to on that.
That's amazing. So what do you think your obviously it's gonna be your first time. What are your goals when going forward on?
To generate, well, I want to learn the process, and then I also hope to walk away with, actual existing, and that's my plan to follow it. That's what my
Okay, do you know if you're gonna bring anything or any talking points on the press for that?
I'm gonna bring a flyer and I'm gonna probably follow my partner's lead, Glenn, because he's
Oh,
gonna
okay.
take me out, and so I'll follow his.
Great. Well, I'm excited for you. Yeah, you're gonna do great. And it's also so helpful that you're going with someone else too. I think having a partner helps and just to, ask them questions, especially, I assume what, you've taken like multiple people out door knocking, so.
He has no problem talking to people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I heard he's the
He's
one
a
to go
great
with, so.
That's
excited.
amazing. Great. So have you done any like research or do you know, what that flyer will be comprised of, if anything?
I do know the flyer, kind of gonna be borrowing one that he's already set up, for his partnerships had before and inserting my information into, and then, going out today after the class to, look around the area and kind of figure out where I want to start with, and like find houses that are maybe like for sale or look like they're not as well maintained to start there.
Great.
Plan.
If you need any property information or data or like a walking farm, we can help you out with that. If you just want to give us the streets, we're more than happy to help.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
I am looking at Culver City,
Uh-huh.
and really I wanted to do from Sepulveda from Sherman Oaks to West LA, to Culver City, but I'm focusing on Culver City right now.
Great.
And the reason why I used to work in that area back in the 80s, and they have one of the major malls, Fox Hills Mall, that has been there since, oh God, I can't even count. And so I constantly and consistently go in that area. And you have to pass that area if you want to go to Manhattan Beach, or if you want to go to Marina Del Rey. You don't have to, you can take the 110 and bypass it. But if you want to go in certain areas, you're pretty much going down in that particular area because of Slauson, because of Sepulveda, going south, Slauson going west. And so I just chose that particular area. I know there's another agent at Keller in the Valley that probably service that area, but doesn't.
There's gonna be agents no matter where you go.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And
Do you
there's
know
a,
what that evening thing is?
you know what, I called, but I can't think of what it is,
Okay.
but anyway, I'll find out if you want.
No worries.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just curious.
And it's a lot of complexes, condominiums, apartments, there's some homes, there's a lot of homes there. But the majority of the area, there's a lot, so it's just a matter of getting in because of security, you know what I mean? I mean, I think I've sent to at least 6 people, like cars via mail,
Yeah.
and that's how I was able to get in and the services or anything, but as far as door knocking, I have not done that in that area. I did it in West Los Angeles, but I haven't done it in the Culver City area, with the exception of sending my cards out.
Yeah, definitely. We talked to many agents who wanted to farm condominiums, or areas with a lot of condos, but they're like, wait, I can't really like get in there or not. So you kind of have to find a loophole, change your strategy again, like postcards, okay, maybe I have to cold call now, or see if there's any, or honestly, we have this one client where she lives in also a complex, and she was trying to see if she could do something, there's like a community center, if there's a pool, she's trying to hold something for the neighbors in that, to see if she could like rent it out. Granted, she was a member, she was living there, so she did kind of have that in, but if you have friends that are in any sort of like condominium complex, or you just know someone, seeing if they would be open to allowing you to put something there as well, could help.
And the HOA, the homeowners association, I was able to get a contact to one of them. And so I said, you know what, if I ever needed anything, flyer to them and I can just mail it to that individual, you know, and they can post it and do that.
Yeah, yeah, I know HOAs, they have a lot of publications, so you can even ask for some ad space. Or if they have anything else that they send out, or if you can even email, sometimes they use newsletters that way too. Thank you for sharing. And then if you need any farm information, of course, maybe they can help you with it as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
I want to start going around my neighborhood in Westchester. And I mean, I know a lot of people, I live in like a little tiny, a lot of deadheads. And actually a lot of where I have a duplex, but a lot of them are not owner occupied, which I mean, I guess there's still value in like whenever these people are ready to stop paying rent and want to buy, you know. I mean, I do know most of the places that are owner occupied, but I'm just curious, like what for a first time going out, what is wise to do for your flyer? Like, what is the why am I not getting, or what value am I getting?
So it really just depends. I don't want to say that.
No, I'm just trying to understand her question. What value is the flyer?
Yeah, like why, what, I mean, other than to be like, hey neighbor, I'm a realtor now, like what can I offer them in the flyer that, you know, other than just.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So feel free to chime in if you would like to, but we've seen it where agents will like have two different sections of their flyer where the top section or the top half would be more so like a market update, or here's something that's really interesting. Here's the highest sale and the lowest sale that happened in the previous month within this city, to just kind of show the range of home prices. I think that's really interesting. You can of course give like a graph if you want, but you want your flyer to be what we call it sticky, where people keep it or they don't just throw it away. And then at the bottom half, you can add something of reference to them. So maybe you want to feature a local vendor or a local business. It could be a restaurant, it could be a tailor, it could be a mechanic's shop, where you're putting their information. And obviously you want that person to be trusted and reputable, because if you refer someone and they go there and they're like, oh, this is terrible, it wouldn't be that great. So those are things that are of value, like some information on the real estate market within your farm, as well as, you know, maybe a local business where people can go, or you have a coupon, or you're like, okay, if you show my flyer, you talk to a restaurant owner, these people get $5 off or 10% off their meal.
Okay.
You know, something like that.
So, okay.
Or you can do simply, I've seen Glenn's flyer where he does an introduction on who he is, what his background is, the clientele, or like the people that he service, what his specialty is, and then also the team support and power of being at Keller Williams. So you can kind of use that if that's your first time, have your headshot, your contact information, your branding, and it is just like an intro.
Okay.
So there's a lot of different things that you can feature.
So I was thinking of for mine later on of like putting different like the new shopping places or like farmers markets, and you just have like reference and maybe something that they hold on to.
I like that. It's like almost like especially with summer coming up, there's gonna be like concert series in the park, your farmer's market, you put the farmer's market schedules on that, just so they could keep it and reference it, put it on their fridge or whatever. Also, like you mentioned earlier, one of our clients, he partnered up with the local florist. And so like for the month of February, he gave his farm 10% off to go to the nursery for flowers. So I also kind of think of like what's coming up in the next couple of months, what holidays are coming out, and how you can leverage those with good areas.
Yeah, perfect. Like Mother's Day.
Yes. Graduations are coming up.
We can have a flyer workshop, honestly, where we all just kind of sit and brainstorm.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, just to share ideas, because there's a lot of stuff that we've seen from our clients and other agents across literally like all of Southern California. And then I know that you guys have probably seen other things that we haven't seen too.
There are just command path, like templates or different like stuff together that you can use.
I think Michael
Michael
did
did
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, does, and then Michael
Yeah, so it's kind of like, they prepared something, you stick in your
Like plug and play.
information.
Yeah.
Same with canva.com.
And that.
Yeah, it's actually what we use for all of our presentations, but they have like real estate templates and you can just like plug in your
Mhm.
text
Yeah,
or
the
photos.
Canva, it's even the free version, like it's really, really great and robust, and there's a lot you can do. Mhm. Okay, so there's a couple other points that I just wanted to touch on for the farm slide. Certain things that are really important to remember and to consider. So know your geographic research. So know of certain landmarks, like when you're choosing a farm, you want to be the expert in your farm, right? So what the geographic research, I think I meant kind of knowing the lay of the land in terms of how it actually is. Like, are there a lot of hillsides? Is there a lot of dry brush? Is this area known to be really, really hot and windy? Are there going to be places that are prone to wildfire, floods? Are you guys next to the beach? Are there natural bodies of water? What certain things do homeowners have to consider? I know when I grew up in the Anaheim Hills, which is like in Orange County, it's bordering Riverside. And I remember seeing a lot of homes fall during like landslides because it rained a lot, or we had wildfires. I had to evacuate twice. So when I say like geographic research, also just know what natural features are in the area. Look at property research. So are there a lot of condos? Are there a lot of duplexes, triplexes, apartment complexes, mostly single family residences, or a mixture? Understand inventory, so what's on market in your farm, what the average list price is, what things are actually selling for. Look at turnover rates. So who knows what turnover rate is?
You mean with applicants moving out or
Yeah,
owners
Yeah, what's the
selling
turnover
their
rate?
homes? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Do you guys know what the turnover rate is for an area or how to calculate it? Yes, curious. You're nodding.
I mean, I think
It's okay.
I'm sure. No, it is, doesn't matter.
Yes, yeah, it's like we understand it, but it's okay. I'm gonna
Maybe
write
we
it.
need to come up with a math equation.
Yeah, or
Right
you're
now.
like, just tell me the percentage.
It's a number divided by the.
Yeah.
Months of the. Days of the month and the.
I'm sure I can do it if I. We're gonna get.
Okay, exactly.
We're gonna make
Yeah,
you do
section
math
4 is
on top of your
actually a
head.
test.
Exactly, section 4 is the exam. And it's closed, no.
This is gonna be a percentage. So turnover rate is calculated by number of sales divided by the total number of homes within a given area. So if there have been 10 sales and there's 100 homes within a property tract, that means that there's a 10% turnover rate. And we also suggest when you're trying to decide on a farm, don't just look back at the turnover rate of the last 6 to 12 months. Look back for the last 5 years if you can, because when you're farming, especially if you plan on being in real estate for a while, you want to look at the long-term trend of a farm, not just the last 6 to 12 months.
There's an easy way to find those numbers.
Yeah, we can help you. It's on Title Toolbox too. So it's in the statistics tab online.
Calculate.
Yeah. And then if you just want to know, it's really easy on our end to do it. So you can call our text us, hey, what's the turnover rate for here? We can even look at the turnover rate for a specific shape that you want, or if there's like cross streets. I know there were cross streets, like there was like a specific square in your farm in Westchester. So. And then, of course, there's some other custom filters that you can look at on Title Toolbox that we think are really great. Next sellers, so that's just based on the average number of years owned, plus and minus a year for a particular area. So if everyone is selling who bought in 2002, you're going to see properties pop up that were bought in 2001 and 2003 for a particular area. There's also empty nesters, so those are properties with 3+ years or 30+ years of ownership and 3+ bedrooms. So that's with the assumption that, you know, a family was living there, the kids have probably grown up and moved out. Maybe the owners now would like some more suitable living. And you can also look at things such as stories, so number of stories in a home. If it's a 2-story home, those people might be even more inclined to sell as well. And lastly, absentee owners or like non-owner occupied residences, those are also in the section or properties to focus on. All right. This quote, everyone is not your customer. I think we had this last class as well. And this quote is just to talk about how it is not your job to cater to the masses necessarily. Nice, Rob. Okay. We just saw your speak, Rob. Great. Unless he was on Google, because he's just kidding. I trust that you know, Rob. Everyone is not your customer. It's not your job to cater to the masses. It's not your job to service everyone. And that's why it's really important that you know what your niche is, what your brand is, and also who your target audience is. Because it's your job to service those people, not literally everyone. And you're going to service those people better and more authentically than you would if you're trying to, you know, be accepted by everyone else. So if you guys need help, kind of thinking about what your plan and strategy is as to what people you're going to target, come talk to me and Amy. Thanks. All right. So this is kind of similar to the farm slide that we just went over. Does anyone have a social farm that they have defined or a target audience that they've defined? Crickets. That's okay. So how about we just take like 3 to 5 minutes? I want you guys to go through either it's the people that you know on Instagram or Facebook or even your contacts list. Can you make a list of 10 to 15 people, if you can, where you think, just based on what you know about them, maybe you should keep tabs on them because there's potential for them to either have multiple properties, maybe you know that their kids are about to be ready to buy, maybe you know that these people want to buy or sell soon, maybe someone got a job or a promotion where they have to move. So go through, and those are just examples of why you would choose these people, but try to make a list of 10 people in the next 3 to 5 minutes. Some people that you want to stay connected with for your business. Or maybe they even have a great sphere themselves. So they can give you referrals. We should play some music, some thinking music, like the Jeopardy song or something.
Yeah, that'll be soothing.
And if you're struggling with that, you're like, oh my God, I don't know like anyone who has quote unquote potential for this. You could maybe just make lists of people and how you know them, how you're connected to different spheres. Give me a thumbs up when you're all done. Okay. No pressure though, I just wanna make sure I'm not like standing up here and you guys are all done. I'll give you guys 1 more minute. All right. Who wants to share their lists? It doesn't, you know, it's almost like their names, but how did you make up your list? Where did you pull those people from? How do you know them? And why did you put them on there? Yeah, Carrie.
I started with, I was gonna like look at my Instagram list, so I mean immediately at the off the top of my head that I know is looking to move back here and look for things. Then I couldn't remember how to find who I follow, so then I was like, then I just started thinking, I just came with a bunch of people I know that, you know, either could be possibility at some point, or I know are looking, and another person I know, whose daughter's finishing medical school.
So potential for that daughter to maybe buy here, depending on like where she's gonna stay, where she's gonna work. Okay, great. Did it kind of get ideas flowing in your head, like, okay, now I have to, you know, stay connected with people on social media, maybe I should go look them up on Facebook or Instagram, because I will talk to them and then, you know, in a while, and just to kind of get some information on them, call them up. Okay. Who else wants to share? Okay, we'll go with you and then we'll go with your.
I told some people in my peer group that that one house is just a very small thing. And so I started with that, and then with people who I think eventually able to buy houses very soon, based on their job and how they're doing. And then I went with the people that I work with that own houses that are maybe older.
Nice, so you had, it seems like a lot of people who potentially be in your pipeline.
Yeah,
Just to talk to.
yes, I think I have a lot of first time buyers and then like investors that I can.
That's great. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, for me, I know a neighbor down the street was having a fourth kid, and I saw on Facebook they're having a problem because their master bedroom is upstairs and the kids are scared to be alone. So I know that, I have a cousin who was looking for still a realtor. My husband has one of his coworkers who's known for nearly 20 years, looking to sell his house. And I'm afraid. And then I kind of did the same. I know friends that are like crushing it, a muralist, someone that is working as an actor. And I'm just seeing all of their accomplishments and knowing that like as their families are growing, they're going to be hopefully buy. And then I also have a couple of friends who they own a home, they own one other rental property. And so I'm, thinking perhaps they'll be interested in getting another duplex, other homes built there. parcel real estate.
Yeah, that's great. That would use a lot too. A lot of potential for sure.
Next, 2 years.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, and the selection I chose is based on longevity. I've known these people for a long time. Some of them are my sphere of influence. I do have most of them in command,
Mhm.
and I didn't choose them because they may want to purchase a home in the future. It's more, they all are homeowners, most of them. But because I know the personalities, they're very social and they can generate leads. Hey, Jan is a realtor down in West Side. Give her a call, you know what I mean? Or help if I'm struggling with something. I had one gentleman, because he introduced me to another realtor at Keller, but at another geographical area.
Mhm.
There was a question I had over the weekend, and I ran it by them, and they were able to give me, just some information. So I think that encompassed with, okay, can I have a friend who's looking for a home helps
Mhm.
me, you know what I mean? And so I think just having them who are homeowners can generate leads for future business. And that's all.
Yeah, that's great. I love that approach too, because it's not necessarily like you're gonna buy or you're not gonna help them buy or sell a home, but you're thinking about the connections that they have.
Correct.
And almost like, that if you talk to them about real estate, they're gonna pass that message right
Yes.
along to their sphere. So it's almost like that they're just gonna talk.
Yeah.
There's value in how they are networking with other people too.
Yeah.
So I love that you kind of think about that type of opportunity. Because once they refer someone over to you, it's like, okay, like you get to handle that. But it's almost like they do a little bit of legwork
Yeah.
subtly to, and for lack of a better term, right? It's like they're kind of like doing it for you, but not. But like you see value in their spheres that they have as well.
Exactly.
So I love that. And also longevity, I like that you said that too, because sometimes it's, hi Abraham, thanks for joining. It's like the amount of trust that you have with people that you've known for a long time, that goes a long way too. We have one client where she works for the government and she's completely new to real estate, like a baby to real estate, but she has such a strong reputation with the people that they know because they trust her so much in her previous or her current line of work that they're like, I don't care what you do, I like take your word for it. And that goes a long way as well. So if you have connections like that, like a ride or die or someone where like you've been through the trenches with someone and they're supporting you in this endeavor that you're taking on for real estate, that's also very, very valuable. And to think about how your friends are going to sell you to other people is important too. To make sure that you're selling yourself well to them so that they can repeat exactly what you want to be repeated. You're online, now what? So now that you're online, you have to start engaging and really putting in the time to foster relationships. What we are advocating for is not just social media marketing. Like this is not an ad where you're just like, hey guys, there's this really cool product that I've been trying for 2 years. No, like we want you guys to actually just really, why are you giggling?
And I thought of something funny.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at Keller Williams and I said, my name is Janice Williams. And I wonder if people think I'm related. So that thought came in my mouth.
Yeah. No worries. I thought you were giggling at like my influencer interpretation, but so it's not just for you guys to like post, not do anything. It's actually about trying to be real, trying to form real relationships. And the way that the world works now is that most of our activity or staying up to date with what people are doing is done via the internet. So we're not going to stray away from that, I believe. Like we're posting a lot of stuff online still. We no longer really have to like call someone to be like, oh, what are you up to nowadays? It's more so like we already saw what they did. So now we just call them to say like, how was that? Right. So it's kind of changed the way that we stay connected and communicate with others. So I just wanted to drive that point home. It's not just about social media marketing, the farming part. It's again like watering the seeds, nurturing the seeds, making sure that you're able to form fruitful relationships. And I have this analogy that I like. So there's tons of billboards up nowadays, right? What use is it if you have a billboard or a post, any sort of marketing, if you don't entice people to talk to you, or if you don't do anything with a lead, right? So it's not just about having visibility on you, it's about you actually being engaged with your sphere. So now this is more up to interpretation for you guys. And it could be different, like there's no right or wrong answer, but I want to know, what do you consider a lead to be? Like at what level are you like, okay, this is a lead? Is it a conversation? Does someone have to blatantly say, I want to buy or sell?
I would say a connection with someone.
A connection.
They'll share with you and get to know them. Connect with them,
Mhm.
that would be possible, but I don't know. That's fine.
Okay. A genuine connection formed with someone that you would consider a lead. Good. What do you guys, maybe it would be easier to ask, what do you consider to not be a lead? Like if someone's like, hey, I have a lead for you, and then you were to hear it, you'd be like, no, that's not a lead. However, it makes it easier for you guys to digest this question.
The person has to like mention to me while I'm talking with them that they're interested in buying or selling, or like that they mention a life event that I like know can lead to that kind of.
Mhm.
Sure.
So an actual indicator, or so an actual indication from them, or something where you know, like for sure they have to move.
Yeah, like I just had, lunch with a friend who's like 7.5 months pregnant. So I'm like, oh, I'm looking for a place to.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're just a little bit more like concrete, or
Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah, like if I was to put that into like my command and like no, then that's how I would highlight that this is lead to get extra attention on.
Okay, thanks.
I feel like in Ignite, it's like you don't put someone into a lead category until it's like pretty sure that they have the intention of doing something. And soon, I feel like I've heard like within like 6 months or something, which sounds like, wow, that's a lot. But, not anywhere near a lead. But yeah, it sounds like they're in Ignite level is really high.
Mhm.
The expectation.
Mhm. So like, there's a lot to qualify.
Yeah.
That in order for them to like even be considered.
Considered a lead.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, okay, they're, you know that they are willing, able, and ready or something like that.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I like that, 6 months too, for sure. Even though 6 months doesn't seem like a long time, but hey.
But there's like a time frame.
Yeah, and so there's a concrete time frame, and then there's actual intention, and these people are kind of like hot, like we consider them a hot.
Right.
Dennis, do you have anything to add, or?
Well, I would say if someone came to me as a referral, say, Jan, this person's looking for a home, they're relocating, gave me the number and, to call, I would put possible need or something, you know what I mean? Because someone's advising, or if I like notice of defaults, I love that, you know what I mean? Just working on those because you have a choice with the individual, either they let their house go to foreclosure, either they sell it, or either they reinstate it. And so I think anybody advising me, hey, this person is gonna do an NOD, they have an NOD file. I think, and they let you know, that's a lead to me, you know what I mean? At least to me. I mean, I don't know if there's a book about this is a lead, but in my assessment, I would consider that a lead because you follow up with the seller, you know, the owner asks, you know, hey, these are your choices, you know what I mean? Either let your house go, you either reinstate it, find the money, whatever it is, HOA taxes, a loan, and or you know, sell it, list it, find a buyer and sell it. You have to get approval from the lender to sell it, but I think that's a lead, in my opinion.
So referral or a blatant need where there's a requirement of like actionable plan.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, okay, great. The next question, how do you track a new lead from social? So let's say you see some indicators online, someone's pregnant, someone, maybe they are sharing kind of like financial woes on Facebook or Instagram. I just want to know, what would you do in command if you receive this? Like, would you put them on some sort of follow-up schedule? Yeah. Would you just write down everything that they wrote, copy and paste?
I think you make notes and then try to formulate a smart plan for them to get on.
Yeah. All right.
I have a question. So for everyone that you guys kind of wrote down on your list, do you guys have all of their emails, phone numbers, birthdays, current address for those? And if you don't, I would say that's a great opportunity to pick up the phone and give them a call and just say, you're updating your phone book, your address book, and you're missing some information. You want to make sure their current information. Because a birthday is a great way just to reach out to someone, either, you know, it's a text if you kind of know them, or like a phone call if you know them really well.
I was just gonna say, you're very young. Would you really pick up the phone and call anyone?
Yeah.
You do,
If it meant like a potential lead or something for my business.
but I mean, like, actually making a phone call.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'll answer that, because I've been reached,
I
I'm
like-
similar, but it's like,
I mean, everyone I know, if I could on a call, they would be like, who's that?
yeah. So what I've been basically doing with my friends is kind of like softening into me calling them. So like people I haven't gotten in touch with for a while, I've been texting or like even emailing and being like, hey, you know, and realize that I've been, you know, I'm off of work now, so I'm kind of reconnecting. So those like soft attention. And the next time I touch base with them, I do like a more deeper call or like a text with a sticker or a DM. Because yes, I have a similar thought, like, I think I'm gonna pick up the phone for me, or like, I actually did have reached out to one friend recently and they thought I was like, my phone is hacked.
Right, or did you find my maybe,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It definitely depends on like what type of relationship I have with that person. You know, if it's like someone from college and I haven't talked to them and I've only interacted with them on social media, I probably wouldn't call them like immediately, you know?
Uh-huh.
I'd probably start liking their things on social media
Yeah.
first, commenting, DMing, and then maybe taking it from there to text them and kind of just building that relationship up. So whatever's authentic to you guys.
I literally could go, I mean, I go days without, I don't see something on the phone, I don't, just like, I don't talk to anyone on the phone, so this, yeah, I'm like.
Yeah. For me personally, I find that I don't ever really, it depends. Again, it's all situational,
Yeah.
it's based on the context of your relationship. But I find that I would rather just meet someone like for coffee or something, especially coffee, or we could say like lunch or breakfast, because that kind of has a shorter time frame and it's a little bit more casual and it's like very low pressure. So I find that.
So set it up via text. It's-
Yes, and then
Yeah.
see them in person, yeah, but of course, like, we all have life going on, and so you can't always just meet someone on the weekend or during the week. But I do find that there isn't really an in-between sometimes for me, it's like text or meeting, yeah. But I do like the suggestion of soft intros.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of butter people up, warm them up, so your presence in their life isn't so random.
I think I'm in the same boat with Shannon.
Gretchen.
Gretchen, you know, because you're old, you know, I don't know how old you are, but just the certain, I'm not on social media as
Mhm.
much. I would love to, I used to be. And I know a lot of people like Snapchat and all that kind of stuff, and it's
Mhm.
like, okay, I could see myself going to, here's my friend Monica, hosts of Zawa, a realtor
Mhm.
out in some other real estate. Monica, what's your birthday? But underhanded, hey, Monica, why don't we grab coffee? I mean, I'm just using her as an example.
Mhm.
Grab coffee on our birthdays. And then maybe underhandedly, I could get the birthday, you know what I mean? What's your birthday? But to ask her, since I've known her since the 80s or the 70s,
Huh?
and then to ask her, what's your birthday? I'm kind of embarrassed. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
To ask
On
her.
Facebook, it might be on there.
Yeah, he's on
It's probably on
right?
there. But this is a long time friend. I know her
Right.
husband before and
Right.
I know the kids, but you know, so for me to ask what's your birthday, it's kind of like, okay.
Like what?
You don't know my birthday?
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing,
Mhm.
you know,
That's
so
where.
underhandedly, I could say, oh, we grab, you know, talk about real estate. And what's your birthday? You know, maybe, you know, I can do it that way.
Yeah, like a casual.
Yeah, that's where like social media comes into play because you could go back on someone's either their Instagram and see if they've ever made a birthday post about their
Yeah,
birthday.
that's true.
Or Facebook has a section you put on your birthday there. So do some
And
social
usually
media
they
stuff.
And they send it to you, like,
Yeah.
hey, these friends have birthdays, but I'm like,
Yes.
that's less, I know it.
But even if the friends don't have that, then you can even do see.
Other people,
What?
yeah, other people post, even if you don't know it,
Oh,
like you can
yeah,
look
yeah,
and see like when someone posted
Okay.
a birthday stuff.
Yeah, like if your friend's partner or their daughter or whatever said, happy birthday, mom, you can see when that date was, that they posted and tagged them.
That's true.
Yeah, so there's little
Little
sneaky
ways.
loopholes, even if it's not so in your face. You do have to do a little bit more digging, but that information is out there. You can also look up people's names on truepeoplesearch.com. I love that website. You can see how old someone is. Of course, if they have like more of a common name, there might be a lot of those people popping up. But I like to just simply Google people's names to see what pops up, and you can find out a lot of information about people.
I have to do the sneaky thing where, like, I recently got a bunch of friends together who had never met each other, but like we all did an activity through me and the people that they knew that got a connection.
Uh-huh.
So like when they were all introducing and getting to know each other, I was like picking up the little bits of information that I might have been missing from these people. So like email, social media stuff. Oh, you have it out.
Mhm.
So that was like another sneaky way to get information. Totally.
That's great. I love it. Subtle but effective. All right. So, in what ways are you providing value? This could be both in your June farm and, in your social farm. So, based on what you know about those farms that you've chosen, in what ways do you plan on providing value to those groups of people or homeowners? And this would require you to know what's of value to those people as well.
So I did a lot of like, well, I plan to start doing a lot of like first time buyer information programs or just like, information about like what interest rates, what that means, stuff about like PMI on my page just to inform first time buyers. So that's most of my peer group. So that's like would be.
That's great. I'd also say like, if you were put out like educational materials, watch and see who interacts with those, because those could be people who maybe you're gonna put on a list, just to kind of keep an eye on them and see what they're doing, because they're showing interest in your posts.
What else? What else do you think would be of value?
I think we like events, local, sort of like helping support local businesses.
Um, If you're, um, if you're, um, if you're, 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 if your social farm is comprised of parents, maybe even having good recommendations for summer camps or places for kids to go when they're on break and their parents still have to work, things like that. It doesn't even really have, a portion of it should be real estate related, but also in what ways can you provide value outside of real estate through just life? So it could be based on needs because of family dynamics. It could be based on extracurriculars. So is your clientele, are they really inclined in academics, the arts, different cultural activities? Are they inclined with sports, music? And what ways can you provide value and connection in that way too? So just kind of think about that. I like how you brought a bunch of different people together who didn't know each other. That's really cool. So if you know that you're friends with people who are social, who are super open to that, they would love that. Like, why not post, a group or a monthly thing? I know me and my friends were starting to do what's called a supper club every month, where we would have like a theme, and that's decided every single month, and we just come together that way. So, and that's just building your sphere. You're getting to spend time with people, and if it's consistent, it can be really, really valuable and also just really special. Okay, so this is going into types of content. If you guys need help with producing content, and content, when I say that, it just means anything that you're putting out there that's on social media. It could be a post, it could be a Facebook status, it could be a video, it could be a picture, or a whole carousel. I'm sorry, a whole carousel of photos. So thank you for laughing. I was like, but anyway, content. If you need help drafting that, these are 3 different sort of categories that your content could fall into. It could be informational. So it's, that could be more of your real estate based content. It could be the content that you provide for people within a specific geographic area. Entertainment, it could literally just be for entertainment purposes, as well as inspiration. If you can inspire people, and that could also be based in real estate as well, if you can inspire first-time home buyers that it is possible for them to own a home nowadays, that's amazing too. So based on these 3 categories, do you guys have any ideas for types of like informational posts that you could make? Or have you made any already?
Like first time home buyers.
Yeah, things like that. And it doesn't even have to be real estate related also, but literally information.
Favorite cafe.
So restaurants, real estate,
Events.
events,
Neighborhood.
yeah, neighborhood events. If there's any openings going on, any museums, libraries, shopping centers, that's information as well. There are going to be any road closures soon. What's happening with city council? Are there any ordinances that will be passing that could affect everyone's day-to-day life? That's information. How about entertainment? Mhm.
Feel like that, like what you did with the weekend, fun activities.
Yeah, you're just sharing what you've done, what you like.
Terrible movie.
Ooh. I actually saw a movie on Saturday.
Terrible is the same one that
I saw Beau is Afraid.
Did you like it?
It was a dirty.
Hated it.
I don't know.
Were we in the same theater? I was there on Saturday night too. I thought, well, we get to incredible.
It's, yeah, there's a point in that movie where you're like, when is it gonna
It
end?
could have ended 6 times before it ended.
Yeah,
What's the name of it?
it's called
Oh,
Beau.
it's great.
Yeah, Beau is Afraid.
I love Joaquin Phoenix, so I feel like that kind of describes a lot of Joaquin Phoenix films. Like,
Yeah.
I love this man, could watch him read a phone book, but why did I just spend 3 hours? I like
Yeah.
this film.
Yeah, it's definitely a journey. It's by Ari Aster, who is the director of Hereditary and Midsummer. And he has really like uncanny, surreal type movies. Yeah, this is writing that line. So
That's what I love.
yeah, yeah,
As a
Yeah.
whole,
yeah. Entertainment. You guys can talk about movies that you just watched over the weekend, whether you liked it or not. You can talk about a restaurant, so that there's gonna be some sort of crossover between these sometimes. But this is just to help you guys conceptualize different types of content that you make. And generally, they do fall within these two categories. How about inspiration? What type of inspirational posts can we make? Quotes, poem,
like a book recommendation.
book recommendations. So in conjunction to just like recommending a book, I feel like you can also say how it helped you in your life and how it can help others in their lives, or certain takeaways that you have from it. So like people want to know what you think, how you feel, and what you have to say. And it also kind of creates a more personable connection if you're giving your input too. And then people are going to understand you more just based on that too. What else? Have you guys heard of 75 hard? Have you heard of that? Okay, so 75 hard is this 75-day challenge. I don't know all the different restrictions or metrics of it, but I know you have to have 2 workouts a day. One of them has to be outside. I think there's no alcohol involved, as well as some other things. I think you have to follow some sort of diet or just clean eating, which can be defined by you. But it's this thing that you do for 75 days. And I know a lot of people, a lot of agents that I've met started on January 1st, and they post about their day every single day. They'll just do like day 1 out of 75, and then they keep going 1 through 75. And I follow along with these people because I want to know that they did it. Or there's people who are doing like, oh, I want to get 10K steps a day, any sort of self-improvement. Or it could be, I would like to meal prep for the entire month of March. I don't want to eat out at all. Or maybe it's just Monday through Friday. If you can bring people along a journey where you are opening yourself up and also being open about having a challenge that you're committing to, people are going to be hooked. I know for me, when I see someone is putting that like day 1 out of 66 or whatever it is, I want to know that they made it. I'm like brought along for the ride, right? So it's definitely a lot more engaging, and you can inspire other people to do that too. Or maybe someone has questions about it. Any way that you can inspire people, it's just, it brings you closer to them. Have you guys seen any challenges that people are doing on their social media? Or like 1 book a month, I'm reading this.
It's been like a health challenge, but I follow this guy, it's like the Aussie realtor in LA. He has challenges where he like this is the budget. Got, the client wants to find a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom with this much money, and like, let's go and find it. And it's like those kind of challenges, like he tries to and just like videos of like each place that they're stored.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is entertaining. It's like literally watching TV, right? It's like,
They
oh,
make
we
it
have,
fun, yeah.
yeah, you can make it entertaining. It kind of reminds me of like HGTV, like, okay, we're watching this. This is our budget. We want to redo our home. What can we do? And you're brought along for the ride and you're engaged and you want to see what people can create. And sure, with that, you get to see like, okay, well, what type of house did they find? Where was it?
Yeah, that's the exciting part is like, you're like, oh my goodness, how is he gonna find a 2-bed, 2-bath, only pay, $2,000 a month?
Yeah,
But yeah, you're like, where in Los Angeles is this gonna happen?
I like that.
That's also a great way to share like your successes in your business, but making it not just like a just sold, just listed, post. If your clients allow you to, take a picture with them, and then in the caption, write the story of how you helped, first-time home buyer get into a home, what your journey was along that transaction. And then, that's people love to read that because they want to see like what experience are you going to give them if they were to work with you. as well.
Yeah, my husband found this guy, and this is before I started real estate. I did stuff.
Entertainment, inspiration, information, all three right there. All right, so let's get into this next slide. Are you consistent? Monitor your audience activity. Pay attention to when you get the most engagement and post then. So me and Haley, we actually have a YouTube channel where if you have the link, you can watch some of our videos. I go over a tutorial on how to look at your Instagram insights because I get the question all the time, when is it best for me to post? And I believe there's like a report that comes out every year from Instagram, but they'll tell you like when the most optimal time is to post. It's a Monday and a Thursday, I think. It changes all the time, but mostly you want to think about when your followers are most active. And so you can find when your followers are most active through the days of the week as well as what times of each day. And I have a YouTube video telling you how to deconstruct insights. So if you want the link to that, let me know. All right, we're going into some tips now. DM don'ts. So DM stands for direct message. This is what you don't want to do. Don't direct message people liking and or commenting. So this is kind of like what we were talking about earlier, where instead of just messaging someone out of the blue, you want to just start liking their posts. You want to start liking their stories to then segue into commenting and DMing people. Don't send obvious copy and paste messages. Who here has copy and pasted either an email or something and you didn't change the name that it was addressed to? Nobody. All right, you're all better than me. But like templates, right? Or it's like sometimes we send out mass things. Just make sure you don't copy the like dear blah blah blah. Just copy the body if you're gonna do that. But I mean, you can send mass messages. Let's say you just want to let people know of this amazing concert in the park. You made an infographic that you posted on Instagram and you're DMing it to people. Just make sure that if you're writing anyone's name, it is them. It's really embarrassing when that happens. Don't keep messaging people if the message is not returned. Message equally. So it's up to your best discretion as to when maybe the conversation is done. Just if you see a lot of text messages on your end, kind of reevaluate where your status is with that person. However, not to say like you shouldn't ever talk to that person, just know when to either turn it up or tone it down. Don't direct message from multiple platforms, just stick to one. So if you find that you're messaging someone on Facebook and Instagram and you're texting them, maybe just stick to text messages and just be, direct about it. Like, hey, I love the conversation that we're having. Can we just maybe move this over to text messages? Or that would be a great opportunity if you're just messaging through Facebook and or Instagram to get their phone number. Next, create conversation in the comments and look for ways to connect others, at someone. Let's add this to our bucket list. So for the example here, let's say there's someone on your target list who's traveling to Spain. They posted about it. Tag one of your best friends in the comments and be like, oh my gosh, Ashley, like, let's go here. Like at Ashley or whatever her username is. Let's go here next for your vacation. So this essentially is just to like keep people engaged in the comment section, get people talking to each other. And again, this is you engaging. So schedule. This is our third step for social farming. Do you guys have like a sample posting schedule at all? Or do you guys have like a plan as to when you're gonna post? Or is it more spontaneous?
Try to do it every day.
Okay,
That's all the plan I have.
sometimes that's good enough. If your goal is just to post, Like, as long as you know that you're getting maybe X amount of posts done per week, that's great. We do suggest to kind of vary the days. And when you say post, do you mean on your stories or like an actual post that stays on your profile every day?
Posts, for sure.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. You don't utilize stories? Okay. I think stories are a great place to be. Sometimes people aren't scrolling as much as they are clicking through stories. I would try it maybe for a week or two just to see if you can move the posting to stories more than you would to posts. Do you find that you have good engagement with posting every day?
No, I mean, not really.
Okay. Okay, no worries. You know, a lot of this is experimentation and finding what works for you. If you stop posting every day and people are like, what the heck? Why aren't you posting anymore? Then you go, okay, maybe I should keep posting because people are like used to that consistency for me. But guys, this is just a screenshot of one of the flyers that we have. It's called our habit tracker. And so this is what the flyer looks like, and I just blew it up on the right-hand side so you can actually see. And this is an example of daily activities. So this spiral matrix right here is for things that you would do every single day. And I can also email this to you guys so that you can just print it out. And so these are daily activities. So you write what the activity is here. And then you check off every single day if you did it. Does that make sense? So the blue line coincides with the outermost blue ring, and so on. So some examples of like a daily activity that I would do is like and comment on target list posts. Respond to direct messages / clear inbox. Post a morning time story on Instagram. Post a lunchtime story on Instagram. Connect with one new person. Post story in farm area, and then engage on LinkedIn. That's just an example. And over here, this table right here, these are weekly posts. So I'm going to, or weekly activities. So I'm going to make one hobby post a week. I'm going to make a fun / leisure post a week. And then I'm going to make a post about being at work. So that's related to real estate. Each week, I'm going to review my insights. So that means that I'm going to look at the metrics of my profile as a whole, as well as each post. I'm going to review my CRM, just make sure that everything's up to date. And I'm going to update my progress towards my goals. Down below here, monthly stuff. This is what you're going to do once a month. Birthday / holidays this month. So that means like either I'm putting it in my calendar when to call people and or I'm sending out handwritten happy birthday notes or cards. Each month I'm going to content batch. And so this is going back to class number 1. Batching content is like baking a batch of cookies. You're not just going to bake one cookie at a time. You want to make sure that you're baking a lot of cookies at once, right? So you're not just going to take one photo at a time to post on social media. We suggest to take one day out of the month, or maybe 2 days out of the month, up to you, to take all of your photos and videos so that you can plan in advance as to when you're going to post those. Content and post planning. So this is where you would plan once a month. Okay, this is the type of content that I'm going to put out for the next month. Giveaway post or host a giveaway. So maybe one of your posts is a giveaway post or a raffle, something fun where people are going to want to be engaged with you. Go live in your farm. This is where you can go live on Facebook or Instagram. And then any handwritten thank you notes. So everyone maybe that met with you for coffee, brunch, whatever, dinner, you're sending them thank yous. And then mechanics, who here gets my mechanics class? It's on Facebook and Instagram. No worries. If you guys have any questions about Facebook or Instagram or just how to do something, because I know I realize the insights when I'm talking about them, those might be kind of a lot to learn. But again, I have a presentation uploaded to YouTube if you guys want access to that.
Well, I have a question in regard of Facebook.
Yeah.
When you post something and you want to invite all at once, how do you do it? Because what I do, I go like click, 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 and I got 5,000 in there. So that's not possible.
When are you referring to a post, like inviting people to a post or to an event?
Yes, yes. Like Facebook, you make a post and then it says share it or invite to that post. Exactly. How do you do all at once?
In reference to inviting people,
Uh-huh.
I believe that when you post, depending on the privacy settings of your post, everyone would be able to see it at once.
Yeah, but there are also a place that you send it to each one of them, like it goes on their page.
Gotcha. Is this on a business Facebook or a personal Facebook?
I do have both of them.
Mhm.
I have a page and also I have a personal, which my personal is all business. You know, I post my open house, I post my picture, whatever that I'm into it. So, but I don't know, a young lady a while ago did it for me. I don't know how, but it's just a link that she copy paste and then it went to all my contacts on the Facebook.
Okay, so I'll have to look into it specifically. I'd love to see exactly what that looks like because there's different ways to share things simultaneously to a lot of people. You might be able to share it to a specific group, like if you have a private group, or you can have segmented friend lists. That is a way to share something to an entire list of people all at once. So I'll follow up with you to see.
Yeah, I really appreciate that because it's
Yeah.
kind of.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely.
I've been wasting a lot of time looking at it, and sometimes I spend 2 or 3 hours for that. But I know that that's not the right way.
Yeah, definitely. We don't want you spending 2 to 3 hours doing that. So I'll tell you what, we can maybe set up like a Zoom where you can share your screen and just show me what exactly the screen is that you're looking at, and then I'd be able to help you then.
Sure, sure.
So I'll call or text you.
I would
Okay.
appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
Of course, you're welcome. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Yeah, can I ask you, and I've been in the industry since '80s, when I left the mid-90s, so I already know this. But as far as the purpose of title, you know, some people don't even know, you know, I know you're here to help us,
Right.
so we can generate business
Mhm.
and to give to you. That's my thought pattern, just to assist us in generating leads and getting them. And then that means, hey, if we're doing good, you're doing good. You know, that's my thought pattern.
Yeah.
But some people don't even understand, why do I need clear title? What is your purpose? And it's, you know, I mean, like I said, owner's policy, ALTA policy, what is the purpose of title? Yeah,
Great question. So we're taking a turn, guys.
I don't mean to take a turn,
No, it's.
but sometimes, you know, I know, to me, I'm here to learn this so I can generate,
Mhm.
leads,
Yeah.
get business. And when I get business, I understand I'm gonna need title.
Right,
There's a fee that Clear Title will get if I, the escrow department, I open up, get a listing, open it up in escrow calls, title opens up an order. And when all that is concluded, you get a fee. So some people just don't.
yeah. Well, you know that very well, and you're right. A lot of people are like, even agents who have been in the business for a while, they're like, yeah, I don't know. They don't really know how to read a prelim. They don't know any of that. So the purpose of title is for the title insurance company to ensure the title of a property, which means making sure that there's no liens and encumbrances that are attached to the transfer of ownership to the new buyer. So when you open up a prelim with ClearMark, what we're going to do is do a full search on that property, as well as do like a general index search on the owners of the property themselves too. So for example, let's say this guy, George Smith, he wants to sell his home. You guys get the listing agreement. So even before you go into escrow, it's really important to get the feeling too, because you never know what can pop up. So George Smith, 123 Main Street, we run the prelim. We'll get what's called the preliminary title report pulled. And then we'll have a cover sheet that's completely unique to ClearMark Title. It's like a curative review sheet called Clear Order. And what it will do is it'll show you how title is vested. It'll tell you the status of the taxes, if they're paid, open, or delinquent, as well as any other types of liens that could potentially slow the close of a transaction, or you may not even be able to close because of certain things that come up. And certain examples could be notice of default, notice of trustee sale, IRS taxes that were not paid, child support and alimony. Those are really, really hard to get cleared quickly. So let's say you're like, all right, we're gonna have a really fast escrow, and then you see this $400,000 lien, or it could be $40,000 for child support. The county takes a long time to get things cleared, or if you need a release, that also would take a long time. There could be other examples, such as if there's an uninsured deed that was recorded, which means someone granted maybe it was the mom and dad who granted it to their cousin or someone else, but it wasn't insured by a title company, that transfer of ownership. And we would need those people who could claim that deed to the new owners, but we can't find them. That can also be a cause for some distress, and you're like, well, we need an uninsured deed affidavit to be recorded, but we can't find the original people. So there's a lot of things. Essentially, we just want your buyers or your sellers to be able to transfer the property over to the new buyers, and for your buyers to make sure that there's nothing coming attached to the property. So we do a whole thorough search. Does that make sense? All right, cool. So, and there's also two different types of loan or title insurance policies, but we can get into that at a different time. But essentially, the entire purpose of title insurance is to protect buyers. Do you guys have any other questions? Any input? Come to our How to Read a Prelim class. We haven't brought that to you guys in a while, but it's really, really important. You guys will learn a lot about the things that could come up on a prelim, and you might be shocked. So, and especially even if you're on the buyer's side, you should definitely be reading the prelim, because your buyers are going to be the owners of that house potentially. So there's a lot of things to consider. And if you guys ever need help, even if it's not a prelim generated by us, send it to us. We're more than happy to explain it to you.
Do you have that class scheduled?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not the sexiest class, but it's a really important class. Yeah.
I don't need sense. Do we need like any kind of login information to use your website on subtitles or?
Yeah,
And do we get that from you guys?
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
we'll get you all set up on there.
So on top of like the prelim, we also offer all sorts of property data, farm information, help you guys do research. pull different reports, property profiles to get you set up to go to like a listing presentation. So we can get you set up.
Great, well, thank you so much, everyone. Milo, I'll be contacting you to help you out with Facebook. And thank you everyone on Zoom and in person for joining.
Thank you, Amanda.
Oh my God.
No, I did too. You read.
Did you say Dalton?
I did. I just went to Germany.
Bitte?
When?
When?
Well, I went to Berlin and London.
Wow.
My girlfriend was doing a show. She had been there for like 6 months. That's like coolest area. She had a 2-bedroom apartment.